I thought I could be doing cardio outside. Well, no. Not really. Well, I don't have to sweat to get wet, that's for sure. But I'm about 20 minutes in and it starts raining like this. I'm about 15 minutes from home right now. So, guess I'm gonna wait until the rain is over. But anyway, guys, today I'm going to do back and biceps. And one of my weak points is not the back width, but the back thickness. So I will be working on that. I usually do 1, maybe 2 back width exercises, and the rest will always be back thickness. And the way I perform the exercises, for example the seated row, you also work the back width at the same time, but the back thickness is always the most important aspect that you work. I'm probably going to stay around 12 to 15 reps. Maybe some sets will be 10 or 8. Mostly 12 to 15 though, because the pump will be better, time under tension will be better. You don't have to use as much weight for the same result. And to me it's just more fun sometimes to get a good pump the entire workout. And I think walking through this will be a possibility. So I'm going to have to do something that I haven't done in years. And I'll probably get more muscle ache from this than any workout ever. Let's do it. Alright guys, finally made it home. Running is not my specialty. Oh my god. Sometimes you need to do it. Man, at least you're happy to see me. Running is not for me, mate. Never did well on the Cooper test either. In school, even when I didn't have that much muscle. That's not for me. Wow. Look at this. Netherlands, guys. The Netherlands. Alright, so finally we arrived at breakfast. This is the oatmeal with, as you can see, the cinnamon, raisins and almonds. It's the same as the other day. Now we're going to add 50 grams of whey protein. Super protein complex, in fact. 29... 47, 49, oh, 50, look, oh, 51, 50, there you go. And then we are going to add 375 grams of almond milk. Oh, oops. There we go. As you can see, almond milk, unsweetened, that's what it means. Let's enjoy this breakfast and fuel the muscles. Okay guys, we arrived at the workout back and biceps, and as I said, we're going to keep it classic, basic, but with a little more volume. So starting out with the first set of 15, second set of 15, and slowly tapering down to 10 reps. The bent over row is one of the best exercises for back fitness, but you don't want your form to get too sloppy, so that's why I'm not going super high in weight. A lot of people go way beyond 100 kilos, but if I do that, then my form will be a lot worse. So what I try to look for is to let the bar sink down below my knees, at least below the knees, so that the stretch in the back is sufficient. If you don't do this, you will stand upright way too much and work the traps more rather than the lower back and the back thickness in the middle back. Even at this weight, which is probably my last set right here, 100 kilos, to many it might not seem that much, but the longer the range of motion, the longer the time under tension, and the less weight you have to use. And when I notice that my form is starting to break down, that's when I know that the sets are done, because if you do more sets than that, you're going to increase your risk for injury and the connection to your back is pretty much gone. So we move on to the classical T-bar row. And the way I like to do this is keep the back almost parallel to the floor. So especially when you go down, it should be completely parallel, because this way you stretch out the lats most efficiently. A lot of people like to keep standing upright, but again, this works the traps more, and what we want to work on today is the back thickness, the back width, and overall back development. It is quite easy to work the traps if you do a lot of shrug exercises, but it is a lot more difficult to get a thick 3D back, and the only way to get that is with classic exercises that work the basics with good form. And if some of you guys have watched the Ronnie Coleman workouts, the famous ones from the movies or the documentaries, the DVDs, The Unbelievable, for example, you might recognize these exercises as one of his own workouts. And that's true. I like to watch his workouts, watch to see what he does for exercise order, and then just try it out. And what he does pre-contest is he ups his volume just a little bit, just like Arnold used to do with supersets, and does a lot of classic exercises with a full range of motion. Now, of course, Ronnie Coleman went so heavy that it was sometimes difficult to judge his range of motion, but regardless, his back was one of the best ever. So what I like to do is use classic exercises from the golden era with the techniques of someone who had an enormous back, but keeping the form classical and golden. That way you will get the most results. And then it is time for a lat pull-down, but as you can see, it is not a regular lat pull-down. It's actually a reverse lat pull-down, meaning that I'm sitting the other way around on the machine. This actually does two things. First of all, this time, well, it's specifically this machine, but if I sit like this, I'm literally straight under the pulley. So it's a different angle that my lats are working. And secondly, I cannot use my legs, my abs, or any other muscle to help me assisting, lifting, or pulling the weight. This is purely my lats, and if you don't weigh a lot, you cannot do a lot of weight because you would literally pulling yourself up. And it simply feels a lot more difficult when that angle is used and when you cannot use any other assisting muscles. And then the last back exercises to finish it off, you can either choose a regular dumbbell pullover or a rope pullover. Now, I haven't done rope pullovers in a while, so I wanted to try them again. And what you want to look for is not pick a super high weight. Why? Because then of course you do get a nice stretch, but the contraction part is twice as hard. Trust me, when you're trying to contract that back in that position with a high weight, you simply cannot get deep enough, so keep that in mind. It is bicep time after those exercises, and we're starting out with, again, a classic movement, the straight barbell curl. And the difference between a straight barbell curl and an easy barbell curl, you can see the bar right in front of me as well, is that the wrists are in a different position. On a straight barbell, the wrists are in such position that your biceps are contracting harder. So the peak contraction at the top will actually be stronger in comparison with an easy curl bar. So a straight barbell curl is, in my opinion, the best way to build overall mass on the biceps. And when you see I go all the way up and pretty much all the way down, extending the range of motion to increase time under tension, which is very important for small muscle groups, because then you cannot cheat yourself with higher weights and no other muscle groups will be assisting. And then the close grip preacher curls for the long head of the biceps or the outer head of the biceps to increase the bicep peak. Remember, the closer your grip is, the more you will target the outer head, and the wider your grip is, the more you will target the inner head. But we want this outer head to increase in size so that the peak will be improved. And you will actually literally see this when I get leaner. You really can see this line in between the biceps occur. And then the last exercise, the concentration curl, one of Arnold's favorites, one of my favorites. This one also hits the peak. You want to do it a specific way.
you want to make sure to let the dumbbell curl up to your other shoulder so that you really contract the peak. You get a peak contraction in the biceps for maximum contraction and growth. And I'm about to do a Q&A, maybe 2 in a row, so if you have any questions you want me to answer, ask them down below, and I will make sure to check them out and see if they're suitable for the next Q&A. I want to thank you for watching, and don't forget to stay golden.